he had no knowledge of AI. He had no knowledge of like Go High Level or business. And the thing is, he went through the course within 7 days. He launched his ads, and then he was actually able to close a deal after a week of setting him up. The AI was able to follow the leads that were coming in, text them, follow up with them, book an appointment. He got on the call and he was able to close a deal, 5K in the door, just from 7 days of work.
Starting an AI agency has to be one of the hottest businesses at the moment. I hear a lot of people speaking about it, and that's why I got Peter on the Business Library today, because he has started an AI agency. So who better to ask the questions of how to do it than somebody that's been doing it and is doing it? So to start us off, Peter, can you just share with me, the audience, what got you into AI in the first place? What piqued your interest? Like, this is what I want to do.
Sure, yeah. Thanks for having me, Mass. And yeah, I guess just to start off, what really got me interested was a gap in the market. I did first see a video, an audio recording of an AI talking to a real human. And I thought it was fascinating how AI was able to handle objections and talk as like a real human. And that was about a year and a half ago. And it just blew my mind. And I noticed that, wow, this is going to change a lot of industries and a lot of the ways how businesses make calls and follow up with their leads. So I noticed the gap in the market and I noticed this amazing technology coming up and about. And yeah, I just had to go all into it. And I did have a digital marketing background over 8 years, and I was working for companies doing user acquisition, running Facebook ads, and Google ads, things like that. And during the beginning kind of time of my career, I also saw the rise in digital marketing agencies coming in and about, up and about. And yeah, this was the rise of like SMMA agencies, and it was yeah, they were peaking during that time, and it was the ones that got in early that were doing super well. So I saw a similar trend with like AI and AI agencies, so I didn't want to miss the bus this time. So I decided to go all in.
Yeah, that was one of the things we spoke about in the last conversation before the podcast is
That's
when you
right.
see everybody start talking about SSMA, also AI agency is going to be the same thing, then it's
Yeah,
probably too late. You
that's right.
missed it.
That's right. That's right.
What's the entire market? Because at that point, people are just getting like the last bit of good money from it, which is creating as many courses as possible to sell as many people as possible. For sure, it can still be successful, but the easy part where there's way more potential clients than the amount of people that can actually do it, that's long gone. That was gone 6 months ago. And
Yeah.
everybody is realizing it, so they're doing just the last bit, like little money grab. So when you talk AI
Mhm.
and to kind of tailor it in, are you more focused on like AI voice agents, AI chatbots? Where does your passion specifically lay with AI? What tools do you see are the best?
Sure. It's actually both. So it's both voice AI agents that can make outbound calls. It can also handle inbound calls like a receptionist. And then I also have a texting bot as well. It's the same AI, so it's knowledgeable in terms of being aware. If the customer didn't actually like pick up the phone, then the AI would text them and try to follow up with them, get them to reply. And then if they do reply, it'll try to book an appointment that way. So all the tools that I'm using, it's really for one purpose, is to get businesses more appointments booked, whether that be through voice calling, voice follow up, or whether that be through texting follow up. We're just trying to book as many calls for the businesses. Yeah. So that's basically the focus.
Perfect. And do you mind sharing the name of the tool you're using? I'm
Sure.
pretty
It's
sure people are
yeah.
curious.
I'm using Go High Level for the customer relationship management tools, the CRM, and then Assistable, which is the software that integrates pretty well with Go High Level. I know there's other tools out there like Vappy and Retail. I'm sure you're aware of as well. And then, yeah, those are like the big names in the industry. But the thing is, what I like about Assistable is that it integrates with Go High Level very well. and it's like a native app inside of Go High Level. I wouldn't say it's native, but you can actually connect it very well, and it's easily integrated. And the thing is, you don't need to know how to code. Stuff like VAPI and retail, it does require you. It's not like coding per se, but you do have to use and be knowledgeable of like middleware tools like Make.com or N8N. It is a bit more technical, I would say. Of course, it's not like coding where you have to be a developer, but if you're just starting out without any like coding knowledge, I do suggest just having Assistable and like a simple CRM like Go High Level. But for more sophisticated connections where you're making like API calls to different CRMs that these companies who you're servicing might be using, then you might have to take a different route, going to like retail and making the connection with a middleware like N8N to trigger those calls. But for more simple stuff like no code, I would just suggest Assistable and Go High Level.
Yeah, I've heard the no code a few times. The first guy that said it, I heard it was like, yeah, that's not quite true. And I do recommend people that's getting into like the AI space. It's probably good to know a little bit of JSON.
Sure.
And understand what HTML is just on the surface level. Because I was not willingly doing it, but all of a sudden I was doing it and sitting there. And luckily, the best teacher of how to do AI stuff is ChatGPT.
No, 100%.
You can ask you a specific question to your specific problem, because there is some tech involved into it, and for sure, that's why I appreciate you coming on here. If you're sharing a method that isn't as tech. I learned that the way of using Make and retail AI, as you mentioned, and sitting there and making sure everything is connected. And for sure, it's not hard once you know what you're doing. The hard part is figuring out knowing what you're doing. That's probably going to take a month. Just getting to that point.
Exactly.
But if we're going down the path of the simple route, what would you say are some foundational steps that the person listening to this should take to establish their own AI agency?
Sure. So, there's actually several factors that go into it. You need to have some type of offer that you're going to be selling, whether that be you're going to be implementing these AI growth systems for your clients, or you may already have a business like a consulting agency already, and you may just be wanting to sell that offer and then just implement an AI system to make your lead generation and lead nurturing process more seamless. So there's two ways to go about it. But for those that are just starting out, you definitely need to like choose and pick a use case of like what their offer is going to be and what you're going to be servicing to the niche that you're going to serve. So you got to pick an industry that you want to serve and just pick one type of solution and master that. I think that the biggest mistake that people, make in trying to, start out an AI agency is like trying to build everything at once and just trying to service a lot of different industries, right? For me, I focused on like solar in the beginning, and then now I'm doing more of like insurance as well. But I did have to first build out a proof of concept system, a MVP that's working. And then once I got results and once that worked, I turned that process into more of like a repeatable framework. And then it got easier because from that point, it's just copy and paste and you already have the workflow set up. But if you're servicing different industries all at once, every industry has their pros and cons, and it's also going to be very custom to the things that each industry is going to ask for in terms of a setup and a build out. So I do recommend just picking a niche and really going after that one niche and solving one of their problems.
You're definitely going to spend a long time talking to your AI agent and building out different conversations if you're going to pick a lot of different niches and just shoot at everywhere. So if you're okay with doing that, that path is okay because everybody can use AI. But I do think you mentioned one very, very important thing is not trying to solve every problem in the book at the same time, because you're going to confuse the hell out of the people that you're introducing yourself to. And if you confuse them, they ain't going to buy nothing.
Right.
So like, well, I don't even know what that guy did. He lost me after the first two sentences.
Yeah.
And once you got your foot in the door, it's a lot easier to do all the other stuff.
For sure.
So So pick the thing you believe the most in, is the easiest close, easiest way in, and then you can start building out your custom AI solutions. I think building out like the AI solutions, if that's the path people want to take, then it's probably more of either going looking for jobs on a place like Upwork,
Yeah,
or it's putting out ads and getting people into what custom automations because they already know the power of AI. But saying you can do anything and everything with AI, even though it might be true,
yep,
most people ain't gonna believe you if that's the person you're gonna be selling AI to. And if they do, they probably know enough about AI that they can build it themselves.
that's
So
true. Yeah, yeah, 100%.
so in that sense, what also, since you talk about it a lot in your AI course, how do a person go out and pick their target market to really hammer it down?
So you're talking about like choosing an industry or like a niche?
Yeah,
Um, well, I guess I was actually going to make a YouTube video about this, but
good bit of
you
practice this
know
then.
there are some pillars of picking a niche, right? I mean, you want to see if there's actually like a network that you can leverage in the first place. Maybe you have family and friends that have their own businesses that you think can implement AI solutions, right? So if you're just starting out, it may be a good way to just kind of ease your way in and even test out some workflows and some automations without any risk, right? If they pay you, maybe there is a bit of risk, but at least you still know them, right?
Yeah,
To the point where they'll forgive you if something goes wrong, right?
true.
So I think that's number one, and then number two, I would say really look into like the total addressable market for that industry. Like how big is that industry? How many people are actually like servicing that business? And then the thing is, like, what we're building with like these AI systems, it's really a lead generation and lead nurturing system. So these businesses that you're going to be servicing needs to have lead volume. There's got to be a gap where lots of follow-ups are needed. So a place like Solar, they make a ton of calls to homeowners, right? That's a lot of leads coming in, a lot of leads not getting nurtured, a lot of leads going missing, right? So that's a gap that you can see in industries like solar. But it's not just solar, right? A lot of other businesses, home service businesses like plumbing, roofing, HVAC, they all rely on leads, right? It's what grows their business. So you want to look into number one, like high lead volume, um, where lots of follow-ups are needed, lots of lead nurturing is needed, and businesses that rely on leads for revenue generation. Number two, I would also say is like high ticket offers. Um, for a company to be, especially like a solopreneur, to be able to pay you, they need to be servicing and a lead that they bring on and an appointment that they're able to close needs to bring them at least a good amount of sales so that they can afford your services, right? So they got to be having some type of like high ticket offer. For solar, for example, one close and one installation on a house can lead anywhere from like $20,000 to $30,000 for the company, right? So one deal closed and can pay for your service. So that's like the analogy that I'm trying to make, so that you want to be able to find clients that have a high ticket offer, so that they can actually afford your services and be able to pay you upfront, so that you have some runway to be able to either hire or have some money, so that you can pay for software and things like that. So yeah, I think high ticket offer is very important. And then number three, I would say is, most businesses, you want to be looking for places where a follow-up is already existing, but is also needed. So what I mean by that is one of a build out that I teach in my community and also that I do for my clients is a speed to lead bot. So what that is companies run ads, right, to generate leads. But the thing is, they don't get to them on time. They don't call them on time. Like maybe they call a day later, or maybe in like within 15 minutes of people opting in. It's a warm lead, but it's going to turn cold. And over time, they're just going to even forget that they actually even saw an ad and they opted in and filled out their information. But the speed to lead bot is basically an AI that calls the leads right away as soon as they opt in from the ad. So you want to be looking for companies that are already running ads, and you can use like Facebook ad library or even TikTok ad library to see what type of companies are running ads, and just look around and see if a follow-up system like the Speed to Lead bot could be helpful to them. But if they're already generating leads, you can really optimize the lead flow and the booked appointment flow with the AI. So you're already seeking a gap to people that are already running ads, and then that's you can also discover your potential clients that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I like having good big lists.
Yeah.
Especially if you start using AI more for your outreach and all that stuff. You're going to have a lot of leads, because you'll be surprised the amount of leads you go through on a daily basis. It really ramps up compared to doing it manually. That's the biggest advantage of AI is purely the scale that everything could be done at. There is no way in hell you are reaching out to 2,000 people a day by yourself.
Oh yeah, no way.
The only way to do that in person is hiring a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's going to be quite expensive unless you can convince 50 or 100 people to only work on commission. If you can do that, that's possible.
Yeah, but the thing is, they burn out, and it's going to be very tiring to always be dialing. It's not fun. I've tried cold calling before.
Myself,
it's not great.
well.
Yeah,
it's quite the experience. I do always recommend people go try it though, because it gets your thick skin. After 3 months, you basically been called every name in the book. People can't say anything you haven't heard before. Like, yeah, that's an old one. It's creative, but it's old. I've heard it before.
Yeah, for sure.
I understand if you're interrupting their dinner, they have like a kid crying in the background. It's a bad moment. They just start cussing you out.
Yeah.
But just for getting the thick skin, I do recommend everybody go in and do it. And for the people that find cold calling fun, I've spoken to a few of them.
Yeah.
Besides just it's a challenge, I haven't really gotten any other reason why. It's just I let me find the hardest thing to do. I'll go do that.
Wow, they're both different.
Yeah, we have an episode on this podcast. I'll leave a link down below where the conversation goes like, she finds cold calling fun. Or like, wait, what?
Okay.
I gotta do an episode on this because that's a sentence I haven't ever heard before. After that, I have heard what other person said on the podcast as well. But like, okay, fair enough. And it's actually mostly women.
Wow. Okay.
Fun fact: I only met 2, so not the biggest case. Sure. But going back to the subject of leads, before I completely lose track, what is some of your favorite ways to get leads for your own agency?
Sure. So I've tried multiple ways. I've tried running ads. I've also went into these different like virtual speed networking, and I've also uploaded organic content. So these are all different ways I've gotten leads. And then more recently, I've been doing like cold DMs on like Instagram and also LinkedIn, and they've been pretty good in terms of responding. So what I plan to do is just I do have a team that does it for me on my behalf. But now I have like LinkedIn Sales Navigator, so it actually unlocks me to connect with more people and actually send out more DMs. So yeah, these are great ways to actually start off conversations. And I think what I really need to leverage is video, because I started posting videos on my LinkedIn, and this is just me, like very raw, like unedited, of me just like talking and conversing with the AI. And yeah, people see that and it builds credibility. And yeah, they're just like, okay, yeah, let's try the system. I want to test it out. And then, it's not as cold anymore, because you're putting your face out there, you're putting your solution out there. So even, when you're DMing these people on LinkedIn, they sometimes do check out your profile, right? So they'll see that.
Most people do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that really helps. So I think what I'm going to do is, really leverage organic content, not just on LinkedIn, but on YouTube as well. And then also mix that in with like cold DMs, just reaching out to people that are in my target audience in the industry. as well. So yeah, I think that's the plan moving forward. I'm also going to test out cold email very soon.
Yeah, that's well, probably one of the easiest ones I would say of those three, because it's the easiest one to automate.
For
LinkedIn
sure.
is, LinkedIn is not the biggest fan of too much automation.
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
they,
I
they,
think you got
they,
to be away
they,
though.
they hit you hard on that. Like most other platforms are kind of chill. LinkedIn is like, no, we
Right,
don't
right.
want any of that. Probably because it is very much a sales
Sure.
platform compared to TikTok. Like most of the DMs on TikTok are not people
Oh yeah.
trying to sell their business. It's OnlyFans models and that kind of stuff. So you pitching your business is probably going to elevate the standard of or the average of DMs just in general. But one question I got to ask on the conversation of DMs, and both of me and the audience sakes, because whenever I hear, for example, Alex Mahosi say, go out and DM like 100 people,
Yeah.
and then he gives a bit of a strategy of how he does it, I would always like to know, like, this, what is like a specific message, paraphrase a little bit maybe, you have sent out that actually worked.
Yeah. So it's the same messaging I always send, and then it's about I don't exactly remember like word for word, but it's like if we're targeting like solar companies, for example, we would say like, hey, we're actually looking for one solar company to partner with, and if we want to get you more appointments, and if you don't see ROI, we'll work for free. So that grabs their attention. And the thing is, we're not lying. We actually do have a guarantee where we work for 3 months with the offer that we're selling, and then if they don't get the results, the ROI, we do work for free for 2 additional months. So that still gets their attention because we're trying to get them more appointments and get them results. So I think they do like those type of messages. It grabs their attention. It's very quick and very short, and it just gets to the point. And I think people respond to that because yeah, they want to increase their revenue. They want to grow their business. So I think
And people
that's what's been working for me. It just gets interest, and then I do like a 2 call. So it's a discovery call, very quick. I just get their number, email, 15 minutes on the calendar. I just call them. I don't like actually spend time with them like on Zoom just yet until I actually talk to them, see if they're interested, see if they're qualified. And then if they want to hear the demo, then I go over to like a virtual presentation, another call. So it's like a 2 call close.
appreciate you for sharing that. And people do sure love the word free. That grabs people's
For sure.
attention.
Yeah, definitely.
So to some extent, some of them probably signed up just to prove you wrong, and are like,
Oh yeah.
damn, I actually have to pay the guy. Damn it! Surprised that happen. Haven't happened at least like once. But one thing, because we can't compact like everything down into one episode. So tell us a little bit more about your AI course, because that link is also going to be down in the description.
Right. Yeah. So it's called AI Growth Labs, and it's a step-by-step system for launching your own AI automation business. And I actually had some people beta test it and give me some feedback. The thing is, it teaches a lot of things apart from just building your inbound and outbound AI voice agents. It can also it teaches you how to actually set up go high level workflows, and it's already pre-built. I have the snapshots, so it's like a template that people can just click and download, and it's already there. You just have to just follow the videos step by step. There's also a guide on what we talked about, like picking your own niche, your industry, your offer, and then also some things on sales as well. And then there's also things on running ads, and also organic marketing and paid marketing, right? So it's the holistic kind of package when it comes to either launching your AI agency or building the same AI growth system for your business. So actually had a little boot camp with a buddy of mine back from college. I met up with them, and then we were pretty much grinding for about a week. And then he went through the courses that I had. It's around like 50 videos, very short, under 10 minutes for each video. he had no knowledge of AI. He had no knowledge of like Go High Level or business. He just does like consulting. And the thing is, he went through the course within 7 days. He launched his ads, and then he was actually able to close a deal after a week of setting him up. The AI was able to follow the leads that were coming in, text them, follow up with them, book an appointment. He got on the call and he was able to close a deal, 5K in the door, just from 7 days of work, right? And yeah, it was just an amazing thing for him because he was just working at like a corporate job, and now he's trying to make that transition into this AI system, and then just being able to like keep selling from running ads. So yeah, it teaches you all that packaged in like a 50 video course, and yeah, it's free for now. I don't know if I'm going to actually like sell this later, but yeah, it's free for now. So make sure to join while it's still free.
Pretty good CTA, actually. That's a
Yeah,
good example of a CTA if anybody ever wanted
exactly.
one. And I hope you got him to film a testimonial as well.
He will. Yeah, I'm going to do a case
Gotta
study
pound him.
interview. Yeah, case study
Have to.
interview with him. But yeah, I mean, I think he's going to keep trying to sell to get to like 15K a month. And then yeah, I'll do a case study. But yeah, it's a validated product, so
I
I'm
would
pretty
say the
happy.
week is enough.
Yeah, a week is enough.
5 a
And then,
week. You don't
exactly.
need much else convincing than that.
Right. And then he was doing it like during when he had I mean, it was on the side. He was working on the side. Like he has a full-time job, you know. So
Yeah, like that's like 50K for sure. That sounds nicer, but about 5K
it's
in a week, that
life-changing. It's life-changing
could
money.
actually be a good YouTube video
Yeah,
if you package and title thumbnail. Use that like 0 to 5K in a week, something like that.
for
Challenge
sure.
maybe.
We're
There's
thinking
definitely a
of the
way of
market.
framing it up.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you do your own version of it, something
No,
like
I
that.
like that. I like that. I'll
I
keep that
just
in
I just saw that thumbnail in front of my head,
mind.
just really quick. I'm like, that could be a pretty
Sure.
damn good video, at least getting some attention.
Yeah, I'll definitely use
Uh,
that.
and talking just about the AI course, still, what motivated you to go out and make a course? Because
Sure.
you could just make money having your own agency. You don't need to make a course to be
Yeah,
successful.
100%. So the thing is, I actually took a course began in the early days of the AI journey that I had, and it was great. You know, there was a lot of things that I learned from it, like utilizing Go High Level, creating like a sales funnel. But the thing is, while the course that I took was centered around like building an AI agency, they actually didn't teach a lot about fulfilling. So they taught a lot about like running ads and like how to do sales, like closing, appointment setting, building a funnel, and things like that. But they actually missed out, I would say, on the most crucial part, which is actually the build outs, right? Like knowing how to actually fulfill your clients, knowing how to build AI agents and actually connecting them to a workflow that actually works. So I noticed a big gap, right? So these courses were teaching you how to sell and package deals, but they actually didn't know, they didn't teach you how to fulfill. And someone like me actually had to go through the pain of actually learning how to do it myself. But
Very
now
relatable.
I have that and I can teach that in a more shortcut way where it's very simple to understand and it's no code as well. And yeah, you can just follow the videos. I have the templates already. And then yeah, it's working system that you can just implement right away. If you don't have a full-time job, you can get this done in like 7 days max. Like that, well, it won't take that long, right? So yeah, I think that's I saw the gap, and yeah, I decided to go into and really fix it because yeah, I think education is key. A lot of people miss out, and then yeah, I think there's definitely a gap in this industry of actually being able to teach how to build AI agencies. You really need to know how to actually fulfill, right? I think there's a difference between people who actually have started their AI agency versus people who just sell courses, right? So I did the first one first. I did the AI agency first, so I know the pain points and the necessary things that an AI agency owner must have and go through. And with that experience, now I could shape that into a course, which is going to be more educational since I've actually done it myself.
The people that sell courses without doing themselves, they rub me the wrong way. Because you shouldn't be selling that course. Go do something else.
100%.
Do a course on making courses, because that's what you're doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Do that. Go out, do that, because you clearly know how to do that one.
Right.
So that's definitely achievable. And a quick tip for the people that want to save some pain: if you have an AI agent, you build it out, and you're like, how the hell do I connect it to my mobile phone? Call your phone provider and tell them to forward the calls after like 5 rings.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. Just add
For
a
sure.
number on the agent, which most tools will allow you to. You don't need to go through that many. We try to do a lot of forwarding. I probably spent a little month, 2 weeks to like 2 to 3 weeks trying to figure out how to do like the call forwarding from one provider that couldn't do it to another provider, then to a third provider that could do it. It was just a big mess. And then we've just called the phone provider, call them, say send the calls to this number, and that was
done. Wow, simple. So simple.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be very complicated.
Right.
That one ChatGPT didn't come up with, actually.
Oh wow.
I don't know why. It definitely was the simplest solution, and I kind of felt a little bit silly afterwards. Like, why did I do all of this stuff? Happy,
Right.
but I was like, I'm glad I don't have to deal with this anymore. At least there's a pause in doing it again. Maybe I have to do it in the future with how a certain client system is set up.
For sure.
On their own end. And when it comes to kind of rounding this episode out, what would you say is the most important thing for the person listening out there that just started the agency, or after listening to us talking about it, is going to start the agency?
Yeah. I would say it's the mindset, really. Just have an abundant mindset. Don't give up. And the knowledge is out there. Like, there's so much knowledge out there. Just look at ChatGPT, right? If you get stuck, ask ChatGPT. Don't feel overwhelmed, and really just nail down your focus. Think about what you're good at. Think about what makes you stand out from other competitors. I guess really kind of start off there, and then don't give up, and then try to get as much resources because it's out there. So it's really, if you think about it, it's money just sitting there in your fingertips. You just have to go get it. The resources are out there. Education is free. My courses are free as well, just like I said. So learn it, and then just master it, and then replicate it for multiple businesses. Because like we mentioned earlier in the call, instead of going so custom, client per client, just find one single problem that multiple industry members are having trouble with, and then solve it, replicate it, and then just keep going. It's a loop from that case.
Great point. And since you mentioned it, I'm gonna just quickly mention the LinkedIn post I posted on the day of recording this, because this weekend we have like a bottle return system in Denmark. You get money for plastic bottles, that kind of stuff. So it's not seen as trash over here, because it actually is money. And I was throwing it into the machine. It rejected one of them. Like, just spit it out real quick. And there was a kid standing there because I just threw it in straight away. Just let's give it a second try. And the kid was to his dad, "Why did he do that?" "Well, it didn't work." And the second time it worked. Sometimes you just have to try that one extra time. Right. If it's the most simple thing in life or the most complicated thing you ever done, just try one extra time. Maybe it's going to work. And then do that again afterwards if it still doesn't work.
Right.
And just wanted to say thank you, Peter, for coming on, having this conversation with me today. I learned a few things, and I'm definitely going to be checking your course out a bit more on the client side or getting client side of things, because it'd be good with a few new ideas there, and using some proven methods.
For sure. Yeah. And I thank you for having me as well. Really enjoyed the call, and then looking forward to your growth as well. It was great that I got to connect with you also. do the virtual networking events. But yeah, I guess that's just where the future is going. Everything's just virtual, and yeah, the AI is there to grow businesses. So really exciting time.
Yeah, one thing that ain't gonna happen. I'm not gonna have an AI me and an AI somebody else on this podcast sitting talking to each other. That ain't gonna happen. I ain't gonna be doing that
Might
one.
be interesting. It might be interesting.
I don't know. Well, it depends on how much he knows about me, because it definitely needs to not know too much. Otherwise, it's going to start saying all sorts of stuff it shouldn't say.
I actually might be AI. You never know.
With
I
how
might be
good
a
some of it is,
yeah,
it could be. It could be. I sent you over the questions in advance, so you could have trained
right.
it on it. Technically,
Yeah.
yeah. Good point. Oh, let's not dive any deeper down that rabbit hole. I'm going to get very freaked out. Thank you very much again, Peter.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for having me.